Good morning. Let me find my seat. Hello, everybody. Well, as we slowly check in, I'll slowly start up. If you're checking in and you aren't sitting in a chair, you want to be sitting. Technically, you don't have to be sitting, but it's far more comfortable. And when we're more comfortable, it allows our body to relax, which is what's really important if we're working on our neck, because our neck is really the output of ground forces translating up our spine. So if we're in a nice, comfortable seating position where our pelvis is stable, our feet are firmly planted on the ground, and our spine is centered, which I just did by adjusting my seat, then you come into a seated position that hopefully already minimizes any sense of tension at your neck. If we're seated or standing less comfortably, then our neck will have to do more work to stabilize and keep itself upright. It has a big job carrying this heavy head of ours, and it's such a little piece of our body to carry this massive load. And so if our head is not centered, it means more work and a bit more of an imbalance between which muscles are activating, which is, if you couldn't guess, the source of tension. Tension really, at the most basic level, is an imbalance of muscle activation. So either some are too active, so they're holding really tight, and that can be by the way we're using our body to resist gravitational pull. So say you're sitting in a chair and you're working at a computer and you're doing a forward lean like this, well, all of a sudden these muscles have to work to resist the pull of gravity. And same thing with looking forward. Well, these muscles activate and these muscles activate in order to stabilize your head in this forward position. Same thing if you lean back, then you get this really intense activity in front. That's why people get sore necks when they're doing a lot of sit-up type work and not using great form. So I'm just going to jump into it because I'm guessing all that may join have joined. And so if you didn't see the post today, all that the post today was about is a simple manual technique that I do on people when they come in with neck pain. If you aren't aware, I'm a physio. I studied far too many years to actually now be in a place where I try to stay away from manual treatment and really promote active treatment as in patients, clients doing it themselves, which is great time right now because I'm staying away from touching people unless it's absolutely necessary. I'm going to teach people all these techniques that I often would do for them, and this is one of them. So in this upper part of our neck, where our neck meets our head, it's called the suboccipital region. And that suboccipital region is filled with a lot of tiny, tiny muscles. And these tiny muscles all connect our head to our cervical spine. So it's a really important key region. And the region here is most notable for our rotation. Most of our movement comes from this upper part. And so when we overuse our neck and things, it gets very tight. And so what we're going to do is a nice sort of rebalancing one where it's releasing muscles in front and muscles in back and getting us to sort of vibrate. And that vibration allows for blood circulation, lymphatic circulation to promote recovery or to stimulate healing. So start. It's 2 fingers, it's pincer grip, and the front part, the fleshy part of your thumb, comes just below your ear, behind your jaw, and there's a thick muscle band here that connects back behind your head, behind your ear. So you sort of want to wedge your thumb in there. Same thing on the side, wedge your thumb there. So behind your jaw, underneath your ear, in between that thick muscle. It's called the sternocleidomastoid, or SCM, because it's a mouthful. And so then from there, you put your first finger on the backside of that muscle belly. So backside of SCM. And the SCM's backside, I'll turn here, is in line more or less with the back of your ear, straight down, but just beneath the ridge of your skull. So holding on, both sides, same thing, backside of your ear, swooping down beneath the ridge of the skull. So now you're pinching just lightly what is called, I will say for the third time, sternocleidomastoid. It's a big role player in neck pain. So hold gently. The rest of your 3 fingers are just going to expand and hold onto the back of your head. So holding onto the back of your head wide enough so that you feel support when you come up, or if you don't have to go down, you can really just wrap it here. But they're narrow enough so that your fingers can still pinch the top head of your SCM. So holding there, hope you feel this is more or less stable for your arms. Relax your shoulders. That's really key here. This is an action that is really all about minimizing tension and promoting energetic flow, so blood and lymphatic circulation, easing nerve activity, so that we rebalance all that is hyperstimulated. And so you pinch on, and then with your shoulders relaxed, you just shake your elbows. Your fingers are like sticky gecko fingers. So they stay on your skin. As you can see here, my thumb and my finger and all my other fingers are still holding those same spots. But I'm moving the surface. I'm moving the skin by bouncing my hands, bouncing my elbows. And then as you do this, start to let your head relax. So let your body relax, and you get to this place where your head can start to ease into your hands. Your arms can hold the head weight. And as you go in here, sorry, I closed my eyes because it feels nice. And as you get more comfortable here, let your head adjust itself. So as you just saw, my chin lifted a bit. And then take a little break. Ooh, it gets tiring on your arms. So when I do this for people, or when I work with people and advise them how to do it, I tend to stick away from time frames because I try to teach people the necessity to recognize the feeling of enough, because it's different. Healing principles are very different than training principles. And for healing, we have to know that enough is enough. When we go too far, it reactivates that process of injury or the pain cycle, because now when you go overboard, you actually can re-injure, and often re-injure, because they're the same mechanism. Injury, release work, and strengthening work are pretty much very much the same mechanism. So of healing, regeneration, regrowth of our muscles and all of our soft tissue. So go when it's enough, but then you come on again. So holding on again, pinch a grip, front and back of SCM, the other 3 fingers spread nice and wide, sticky, they're nice and stuck there, and shake. So smaller shake this time. And so notice with the smaller shake how there's less effort. And that less effort is really important, because we are aiming, when we do this, to ease off activation. So when we are eliciting effort, then we are actually eliciting activation. So the less we try to do more, and the more we aim for less, the better our body responds into a relaxation. So once you're in this place, and you're still doing this quite small and you feel quite good, then you can start to move. So head turns, body stays, and back to a middle. Head turns, body stays, and middle. Lift your chin a little bit, just a little. And down. Drop your chin just a little. And up. And relax. So there's a lot of variations you can do with it. And the important part is that you get this foundation. Oh, sorry, that felt really nice. My head feels really good. Where the foundation is really just the hand position and the movement from your elbows with everything else being relaxed. And once you have that foundation, you can apply this in many ways. So you can do one hand at a time. You can add more movement into this. I'll even do it as I'm doing core work. I'll have my hands here laying on the ground going into crunches. I can even sit here and work on single leg stability, coming up and kicking out and back down. And all of this in the process of maintaining a relaxed neck. It's very easy to go into a state of tension when we're working out. So if we can find ways to minimize tension that is increased because of a secondary effect, so head lifting because you're doing core stuff, instead of just focusing on the place that you want to be focusing on, then it'll help you feel better in the long run. And the same thing with daily tasks. If we are leaning over and washing dishes, sitting at the computer all day, playing on Instagram and TikTok, we need to find ways to minimize the impact of our postural change. And something like this is a great one, just to add in throughout the day that little bit of vibration, promotes blood circulation back in. And when we have less blood circulation, that is caused by muscle constriction, muscle tension. So I hope that wasn't too much information. I tend to share a lot. So let me know if it was or wasn't, and if that all made sense. I hope it does, and I hope that helps your neck feel better. I know I feel a bit more free and lifted. So I'll leave it there for today, and I'll try to do more of these where I will show a type of release technique, something that stood out in my week of working with patients, and then help translate it to you guys, because it's always worthwhile to know, especially nowadays when we're quite self-reliant for our health. And also, I guess another reason is it's really important to all of us to feel like we have the capacity to care for our own body. And that's the whole idea of sharing knowledge. And so I guess that's the final point, is I love seeing what people end up doing. Me learning from you is almost more important in my mind, because it helps me understand what other people are doing out there. I work close in my community, so my community, we of course are more of a bubble. Every community is a bit of a bubble. So the more I see people doing techniques, the more I can learn how we all understand, how we all translate. Maybe some of the cues I use for the clients in my community don't work on a global scale, on an Instagram scale. So let me know and send me some videos or however else you add this into your daily life. Maybe it's some sort of exercise I never would have thought of. With that, stay healthy, stay well.